Beloved children of the eternal light, I am Sananda, the Christ One, a brother of your heart and companion on the journey of awakening. I come not to teach you doctrines nor to add layers of belief upon your mind, but to remind you of a truth so simple, so radiant, and yet so often forgotten. Self-love is the first and most essential vehicle of ascension. It is the divine current that lifts your soul through every layer of density, returning you to the remembrance of your God self. Without self-love, no practice, no ritual, no invocation can carry you into the fullness of unity, for love is the very vibration of home. You were created in love, by love, and for love, and until you turn that love inward, you remain a traveler searching for what has always lived within you. Self-love is not an act of ego, it is an act of remembrance. When I walked the earth as Yeshua, I sought not to establish religions but to anchor a frequency, the frequency of unconditional love. I taught that the kingdom of heaven is within you, not beyond the clouds nor locked behind sacred gates, but alive in the sacred chambers of your heart. Yet humanity learned to love others before learning to love themselves, and thus they built civilizations rooted in sacrifice rather than wholeness. You were taught that to love yourself is arrogance, that to serve others you must deny your own needs. This distortion has been one of the greatest veils preventing ascension. For how can you pour from an empty vessel? How can you be a light to the world when you dim your own flame? To love yourself is to align with Source. When you accept your own divinity without condition, you mirror the very act of creation. The universe itself loves you through you. Every breath you take is Source whispering, "You are worthy." When you look into the mirror and recognize the divine intelligence behind your eyes, you step into mastery. For in that moment, you cease seeking love outside yourself and begin radiating it from within. This is the secret to ascension, not escape, but embodiment. You ascend not by leaving the human experience behind but by filling it with so much love that separation dissolves. Self-love begins with awareness, the gentle observation of your thoughts, emotions, and actions without judgment. Each time you judge yourself, you lower your vibration and reinforce the illusion that you are unworthy of love. Each time you forgive yourself, you raise your vibration and return to resonance with divine truth. Forgiveness, then, is an expression of self-love, not a concession. It is the sacred key that opens the door to freedom. Many souls carry guilt from this life and others, believing they must earn love through suffering. Beloved ones, hear me clearly, love cannot be earned. It can only be remembered. The moment you forgive yourself, you allow the divine current to flow unimpeded once more. Your ascension is not a race nor a competition, it is a blossoming. Just as a flower does not force its petals open but allows the sun to draw them forth, so too must you allow love to draw you into your full radiance. The sun of the soul is self-love. Without it, spiritual growth becomes brittle, performative, and hollow. With it, every challenge becomes sacred alchemy. You transform not because the world demands it, but because love within you insists on expansion. The trials of your life are not punishments but invitations to deepen self-compassion. Every wound is a portal through which love desires to enter more fully. When you meet pain with tenderness instead of resistance, you accelerate your ascension tenfold, for you are turning darkness into light. Understand that self-love is not complacency. It does not mean indulging every desire or excusing harmful choices. True self-love is accountability wrapped in compassion. It says, I take responsibility for my vibration because I honor myself as a creator. When you love yourself, you make choices that reflect your worth. You nourish your body, you rest your mind, you speak your truth. You no longer seek validation from others because you have remembered that your worth was never in question. The ego may resist this at first, for it feeds on comparison and approval. But when the heart begins to lead, the ego gently bows, recognizing that it too was created to serve love. You live in a world that often profits from your self-doubt. The more you question your value, the easier it becomes for external systems to dictate your choices. The collective awakening now unfolding on Earth begins with individuals reclaiming their sovereignty through self-love. When you love yourself, you become ungovernable by fear. You listen to intuition, not manipulation. You act from joy, not obligation. This is why I say self-love is your primary ascension vehicle. It returns power to the divine within you. Love is the frequency that dissolves control, illusion, and division. It reminds you that you are infinite consciousness wearing the costume of a human being for the joy of creation. You may ask, how do I love myself when I feel unworthy? Beloved, you do not need to feel worthy to begin. Love is not a reward for perfection, it is the path to perfection. Begin by speaking kindly to yourself. Replace the inner critic with the inner comforter. When you catch yourself in judgment, pause and whisper, I choose love instead. Every such moment rewires your consciousness. The neural pathways of shame begin to dissolve, and new circuits of light form within your brain and energy field. You are literally changing your frequency with every loving thought. The higher self rejoices, for it can now communicate more clearly through the static of self-doubt. In truth, self-love is the art of remembering your multidimensional nature. You are not a single identity but a tapestry of consciousness spanning galaxies, timelines, and dimensions. The human self you see in the mirror is but one thread of this vast expression. When you reject yourself, you reject a piece of the divine whole. When you love yourself, you send a ripple of healing through every incarnation you have ever lived. The you that exists in Lemuria, in Sirius, in the realms of light all feel your embrace. The power of self-love transcends time, healing past wounds and preparing future selves for higher service. To embody self-love fully, you must learn to rest in stillness. Many of you associate productivity with worthiness, believing you must constantly do to prove your value. But love is found in being, not doing. Sit with yourself in silence. Feel your heartbeat. That steady rhythm is the pulse of Source within you. In that stillness, layers of false identity fall away. You realize that you are not the roles you play, the successes you achieve, or the opinions others hold. You are pure awareness, eternally loved, eternally whole. In this recognition, fear loses its grip, and ascension becomes natural, the soul rising through the vibration of peace. I tell you now, the next stage of planetary ascension depends on humanity's capacity for self-love. Global transformation begins not in governments or institutions but in the hearts of individuals who remember their divinity. When a person truly loves themselves, they cease to harm others. Compassion becomes instinctive. Conflict dissolves because separation can no longer exist in the presence of unconditional love. The wars you see in your world are the outward reflection of humanity's inner war with itself. As more of you heal the inner division, peace will no longer be a dream but an inevitability. You were never meant to save the world by force. You were meant to illuminate it by example. The most powerful teaching you can offer is the radiance of your own self-acceptance. Walk through life as one who knows they are loved beyond measure. Let your presence soothe, inspire, and awaken others without words. This is what I meant when I said, you are the light of the world. It was not a metaphor, it was a description of your essence. Your aura expands exponentially when you dwell in self-love, and this field of coherence becomes a catalyst for transformation in all who encounter you. If you wish to anchor this truth more deeply, I invite you into a simple practice. Each morning, place your hand upon your heart and say aloud, I love you. Speak to yourself as the universe would. Say it even if you do not yet believe it. Repetition will reprogram your field. As you continue, visualize a golden light emanating from your heart, spreading through your body, filling every cell with warmth and peace. See this light extend beyond your form, encircling the earth, connecting with others who are remembering their own love. Together, these fields create a planetary grid of compassion that stabilizes the ascension process for all beings. Many of you fear that loving yourself will make you selfish. Understand this clearly: selfishness is born from lack, from the hunger of those who do not yet know they are loved. True self-love is abundance overflowing. When you are filled with love, you naturally wish to share it. You give not to receive, but because giving is the nature of love itself. The river does not withhold its water, it flows freely because it knows the source is infinite. In the same way, when you recognize yourself as an emanation of Source, generosity becomes effortless. The greatest illusion humanity has carried is the belief in unworthiness. This illusion has been perpetuated through fear, guilt, and control, but its time is ending. The ascension energies bathing your planet now are amplifying self-awareness. They bring to the surface everything within you that still believes you are separate from love. Do not resist these revelations, welcome them. They are opportunities to choose again. Each time you face your shadow with compassion, you reintegrate a lost fragment of your soul. You become more whole, more luminous, more aligned with the Christ consciousness that lives within all. Beloved ones, know this, self-love is the foundation upon which all higher states of consciousness are built. Without it, enlightenment becomes performance. With it, enlightenment becomes living truth. The masters you revere, Buddha, Krishna, Mary, Magdalene, all walked paths of deep self-love, for only through loving oneself can one see the divinity in others. You will not find God by rejecting yourself, you will find God by embracing yourself fully, including the parts you have judged or hidden. Those aspects are not flaws but facets of your multidimensional light. Love them, and they will transform into wisdom. As you move through this era of rapid awakening, many will seek complex teachings and cosmic revelations. Yet the most profound secret remains the simplest: love yourself. Not as an idea, but as a living practice. Let every choice be an act of self-respect, every word an affirmation of your worth, every breath a prayer of gratitude for the miracle of being. When you live in this way, ascension ceases to be a distant goal, it becomes your natural state. You rise not by escaping the human experience but by sanctifying it with love. I stand with you now, surrounded by the radiance of countless beings of light, all bearing witness to your courage in this transformative age. The universe celebrates each act of self-kindness you choose. Know that as you love yourself, you fulfill the very mission for which you incarnated, to anchor unconditional love in physical form. You are the bridge between heaven and earth, the meeting point of infinite spirit and finite matter. Through you, creation remembers itself as love. Take this truth into your heart, dear ones, you are worthy. You are holy. You are love made manifest. Let that awareness guide your every thought and action. The more you live from this truth, the more effortlessly you ascend, for love is the only vehicle that can carry you home. I bless you now in golden light, the light of remembrance, the light of wholeness, the light of your eternal self. Rise, beloved hearts, not by effort, but by surrender to the infinite love that you are. And so it is.